Well, good morning, everybody. It's February the 14th, Valentine's Day, here in Liverpool. Minus 12. It is cold, but luckily we have no wind. And we didn't get any more snow, so we didn't have to plow that. So, I just want to say happy Valentine's Day to my beautiful wife, Amy. I'm so glad that God sent you my way and that you stayed with me for all the issues that I had throughout my life. All in all, I think we had a good life. We had our ups and downs, but it was, we were able to talk our problems out. And we always made up for any arguments or fights we had. Of course, you were always the smartest one in the relationship. So, and I knew that. And I listened to you more because I figured you being the smartest one, you probably were right most of the time. Anyone that knows you would say the same thing. Anyone that knows both of us. That's my dog, Willow. I don't do a lot with Willow on here. She's a German Shepherd, and she's a meathead, as you can see. Alright, get back. She's one of the reasons why I go for my drive every day. She likes it. She enjoys getting out, having her run, having her pee, doing her business. So, I don't have a lot to talk about God today. I read a little bit yesterday, the day before, about Matthew. What Jesus was doing with Matthew as Matthew was recording it down. So, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about with that. I did a video on my channel yesterday, or the day before, I should say, with me plowing snow. And that was an experience. Trying to hold a selfie stick and trying to plow at the same time. If you happen to watch that video, be careful, you might get seasick. But it was fun. It was funny. So, for that I'm grateful. Last night I watched a few episodes of Unashamed with the Robertsons. The ones from Duck Dynasty. There were some things there that stuck. And the Bible says you have to honor your mother and father. Growing up, I didn't. Quite the opposite. I was always arguing with them. Growing up. I always thought I knew better. Coming from a broken home had a lot to do with it. I figured it out after a while. I think we tend to blame ourselves as children when our parents split up, that maybe it was our fault. It never was our fault. And then parents trying to parent, two parents trying to parent when they're not together is hard. Dad had his issues, we'll say. And I could tear them apart, but I'm not gonna. My father done what he thought was right in his mind. When we raise our children, that's all we do. We don't want to pass on past mistakes that, maybe our parents made. And like I said, he did what he thought was right. as well as my mother. When Mom and Dad split up, Dad never gave much money to live off, so Mom had to have 2 jobs. I stayed with Dad for a couple of years, me and my brother, when they first broke up. I think that was Dad trying to be controlling, because we didn't talk to our mother in them 2 years. We sent back Christmas gifts and birthday gifts. It was a hostile situation between Mom and Dad. But then again, he was hurt. He was doing what he thought was right. And right or wrong, you can't change it. So then we moved down with my mom. And I was 12, 13. Just coming into a strange and hard period in my life anyway, trying to mature. I didn't pick the right path. I hung around with a lot of older people that were in their late teens, some even into their early 20s, and I was just a boy. My mother drank when she wasn't working. I think it helped her cope with the trauma that she had been through, not only with my father, but I think there was childhood trauma there too. She very rarely spoke of how she grew up, but when she did, and what little bit she said, I'm sure it was very traumatic for her. So she did the best she could. And what I'd like to say today is, Lord, if my mother and father are with you, and you hear this prayer, please tell them I'm sorry that I didn't do the right things as a son, and that I forgive them for the way they acted also. But I'm sure it wasn't easy raising me as a child. I'm sure I definitely tested every parenting thing they knew about raising children. Hey, enough. We can't continue to blame our parents for our whole lives. Sooner or later, you have to grow up and stand on your own 2 feet. I changed the patterns with my children. I was tough on my children in some ways with responsibilities, but I didn't beat my kids. I didn't have to. Not like my mother and father beat me. And I showed my love more, I think, than what my parents did. My parents always said they loved me. Whether they see me today or whether it was 5 days, whatever it was, whenever my parents see me, they always said they loved me. But it was confusing, because by their actions, I was finding it hard to understand how you could love somebody and do the things that you do. God says you have to honor your mother and father, and I didn't do that. I really didn't. I should have, and I didn't. And I am sorry for that. I'm sorry for a lot of things. I'm sorry for a lot of my sins. The only regret I have is not going to God sooner and seeking out God sooner. I definitely would have been a better person. I definitely would have been able to hold my feelings more. I definitely would have been able to explain how I felt more, but I didn't. I waited until I was 57 years old, 58 years old, and on the verge of dying. I mean, I could last another 10 years with the aneurysm that I had, but I could also last another 10 minutes. I'm glad I've turned to God. You know, there's still a lot of people that haven't, that I know it would help. I know I'm not the right person to be preaching, to try to bring people to God. But hey, I'm all you got for now. If you're watching my channel, I'm all you got for now. But I can definitely lead you to people that can help you. Help you find your way to God a lot easier and a lot quicker than what I did with myself. I have no problems talking to anybody about God because I'm interested in learning. I want to do the best that I can, and I want to be the best version of me I can be. I've seen some changes. I don't curse and swear a lot. Nowhere near as much. I still slip up. Still ask God for forgiveness. I have more patience. I still slip up. And I ask God for forgiveness. I do get angry sometimes and direct that anger towards whoever, but nowhere near like I used to. So for that, I'm sorry, but I'm getting better. But just think if I could get to a point in my life where I fully trust God and can give God all my problems, not worry about one thing other than being happy. That's what I'm working for now. I'm working, opening my heart to allow God's wisdom to come into my heart so that I can be happy. Nobody else. No, because I can't make anybody else happy. That's something that you have to do. You have full control over whether you're happy. So, for that, that's what I'm working on. That's another reason why I'm seeking out God. I've been pretty lucky on my journey. I've had some responses from God. Not so much that he came right out and answered me. But, well, stop. Just about here. But enough to let me know that it was him that had changed the situations that I was in. This year here, I was deer hunting, like I do every year. I had to do it different. Since I've had the aneurysm and have been sick, I've been weaker. So I have to depend and rely on other people to help me, especially with deer hunting. And I prayed to God this year that I would get a deer. That prayer was answered. I prayed to God that my son-in-law would get his very first deer. That prayer was answered. My best friend, I prayed to God that he got a deer this year, and that was answered. My cousin, I prayed to God that he got a deer this year, and that was answered. And I prayed to God that another good friend of mine got a deer because he was down, he was having hard jobs financially, and the deer meat would help him through the winter, and he was rewarded with a deer. And every time I asked God for that, I was rewarded. We were rewarded. That may seem small and coincidental to some people, but it wasn't to me. I was very, very happy the way it played out. It played out that way because I asked God. That's what I think. And that little bit of inception, him helping, made a huge difference in my life. I've always, like I said, believed in God. I've always made little prayers, little requests. It was never anything major. Although, lately I have asked God if he could bless me with the jackpot of one of our lotteries. I honestly don't expect it, and I'm fine that I haven't won it. If he wants me to win it, he'll let me win it. And if I ever did win it, it would be because of God, and I would share it. I would try to share it, as much of it as possibly human, because all I want is enough money to build a big enough place, or have enough land to build big enough places for each and every one of my children, and maybe have a farm so that we can be somewhat self-sufficient, so that my daughter-in-laws can raise our children and maybe not have to work. Wouldn't that be awesome? That they could stay home with their children and maybe homeschool. The plan that our society has right now is not a very good plan. When you have to get up in the morning, go to work for 8 hours, away from home for roughly 10 to 12 hours with traveling time, doesn't leave you a lot of time with your child. I don't think we're meant to do that. I really don't. We're in Nova Scotia. We have one of the richest resources in our country. We have all kinds of natural resources, whether it be our lumber, our minerals, our gas and oil, and we have a good labor force. Willow, that is enough. How is it that we do not utilize all of that so that we can be a country where we're able to stop paying taxes? I know why, because the government is too greedy. The government wants to put us in these 15-minute cities, have one currency, digital currency, and be able to control you so that they can tell you what you can buy, what you can own, where you can go, and what you can do. To me, that's not freedom. To me, that's not what God has planned. It may be okay for some people. Some people would enjoy that. You know, an older person maybe, knowing they have They don't have to travel far during the winter to go get their groceries. They don't have to, they've got a roof over their head. They got 3 square meals a day and maybe a little pocket change that they can do a few little odds and ends once a week or something. But that's not the way society's set up. Our government is corrupt on both sides, I think. There's not really good party on either side. They definitely don't have our interests, our best interests. And I wish they did. I'm not going to be able to change that, and neither are you. There's not enough of us that can get together and agree on one thing. We're all too far apart on what we believe is right and wrong. It's crazy, in my opinion. Our school system's a mess. Our healthcare system's a mess. Our economy is a mess. Most people, mental health is a mess. How many people, I wonder, if they took a survey at this day and age, right now, would able to say they're happy? I wonder what that would look like, what somebody would look like. I'm fairly lucky. It doesn't take a lot to make me happy. But I just feel bad for the people who are homeless and suffering from, and not all the homeless are suffering from mental illness, but I'm saddened by the amount of homeless people there are, by the amount of people that are sick and in the hospital and waiting rooms in poor conditions. I'm saddened by the amount of homeless people that are around. And I'm saddened by the amount of people who don't have enough to survive on day by day. I truly am. So let's see if we can't get some pictures of my dog. I don't think I've actually taken any amount of pictures of my dog. We're at the lighthouse because there was somebody at the sand beach. I just let her out to run. And she loves it. And she's a good dog. Pain in the butt. She listens pretty well. So, and her name is Willow. So this is what I do most mornings. Oh, by the way, seems like it's warming up a little bit. Probably -6 now or 8. See the rabbit tracks in the snow? That's what those are, rabbit tracks. There's a few rabbits here. It's nice to be out in the fresh air. It's a little cold, but it could always be worse. Willow! Willow! Get out of it! Come on! Go do your business. With the glare on the phone, I'm not sure what you can pick up here. But it is nice. Alright, she just done her business. She's going to go back to the truck. She'll want to get in the truck. She's a good dog. Just, she gets some whining in the truck. It just aggravates you. Oh, there she goes. And sniffing around. Seeing if she can't. I think she goes in there looking for the bunnies, rabbits. She'd never catch one. That's for sure. I think she's doing her business again. Yeah, she is. There you go. Alright. Well, folks, thank you for listening to my spiel. I hope somebody enjoys them. I do get some followers and some views, which I'm happy about. If you have a specific thing you want me to do, you can always ask.